the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Mamo, very good morning by Nsem-Pii TV so. Kennedy akompreko ohene Agyapong de any campaign no eba Kumasi the Ashanti region. Ebishia NPP communicators any delegates na odi Nsem-Pii to dwa na nsem de oni NPP communicators no nko a na ewo ekukwam. No odi Nsem-Pii beto dwa nsem ne ba abonti na Kennedy akompreko ohene Agyapong pa kire say NPP is looting the country Ghana as if there is no tomorrow. Nsem-Pii ba bontin de deja no obi a che na adwon se Kennedy akompreko ohene Agyapong ono no waka no biem na eno na Kennedy akompreko ohene Agyapong hu se Nsem-Pii ni nam social media efa no ho na oka se NPP is looting the country as if there is no tomorrow na ode apology and ode letter bi aba bontin a opa che se oh ensema okan no na enye sa na opa che no onim bia nti a akom basa na ene Royal Adom Otchere edi Nsem-Pii abetu dwa fa Kennedy akompreko ohene Agyapong ene ne nsema obi betu dwa abra obehia NPP communicators a omo Ashanti region no na message ebeko na akoti Royal Adom Otchere nsema odi
great guy, fantastic guy. And I also said to you to the people on the social media and the flyer that Agyapong is a very reasonable man. I'll tell you why. That's a very sensitive story. It's a very, very reasonable man. We had conducted an interview here on Good Evening Ghana recently. Kennedy had said certain things in the interview. Post-interview, post-production, we had put the videos out on social media. A very, very important person called me and said, listen, I watched your interview with Kennedy. I think that it requires some corrections of some of the things he said. And I said, wow, this is getting very touchy and sensitive. Really? He said, yes. I think he should correct a few things he said that were not completely accurate. I said, but Kennedy is going to challenge it. He's going to say that what he said was accurate. He said, well, that's why I'm calling you, to see how you can manage this. So I went to another important person and told him that, Chief, this other important person says that I should do some changes or discuss with Kennedy about some narrative. Sure how to approach Kennedy on this matter because he's going to get angry. The way he is, he can get angry at any time. I don't know how to approach him. So this other very important person said, okay, I'll talk to him. What is it about? So I told him that the man says that. He said, wow. I said, yes, you see, Chief, you see. This second very important person sort of understood my sentiments. I said, yes. He said, let me talk to Kennedy and then I will let you know that I've spoken to him so you can go to him. I said, okay. A few hours later, I got a call from his aide and said, Charlie, the man says you can go and talk to Kennedy. He's speaking to him. So I called Kennedy. He said, I will interview back. I am my mom, boss, be brace. I will Good Evening Ghana and also I will to me 6,000 here. Then me buy when you're facing be brain away. I said, oh, my crew. He said, only me fear there. Oh, I was going to mention that, of course, I can't disclose where he lives to the general public on TV. So, only me fear there X. I said, the deal. He said, okay, Brahane friend, me metro. I got there, he called me, he said, come. I went. He sat down and he almost broke down. He said, Paul, this thing, but for that second important person, I would never have obliged this request. I said, I beg you. Because they said, wow. So that's the day I got to know that, oh, so behind the fiery thing, this man is that reasonable? I was so impressed. And he nearly broke down. He said, this is very difficult for me. But because of the second person you spoke to, who has spoken to me, it's okay. Go and make the correction. I said, Ofa Kennedy, thank you. He said, it's all right. And I left. And we did the correction. And the other important person called me and thanked me and said, oh, I saw the correction. Thank you very much. Everything is fine. Was he angry? And I said, well, after you spoke to me, I spoke to this other important person for him to talk to. He said, oh, it's his person. It's his person. So he can talk to us. I said, yeah, that's what I thought. So I did that. And that's how we resolved it. So thank you very much. Everything is fine. So I walked out of that experience knowing that Kennedy Agyapong is a very, very reasonable man. He is, for sure. And he's a good man as well. The other thing I found about Kennedy in that experience is that he's 5,000% MPP. The MPP runs inside his DNA. But he gets angry which is okay. I mean, even here in the studio, we get angry. I get angry. Who gets angry with me? Mikael gets angry with somebody. I get angry with Terry. Terry gets angry with me. Antoinette gets angry with somebody. We get angry. So as for having a political party that is 6 million, a political party that is getting 6 million votes probably has 1 million members. So among 1 million people will make people angry. That's always going to happen in any political party. NDC, NPP, WDC, PNC. People are going to get angry. Remind me of Hassan Ayaga's video, and we'll play it at some point anyway. So this may be our last story for today. It's 8 minutes to the top of the 10 o'clock viewers. So Kennedy gets angry, but he's a reasonable man, and I think he's a good man, and I believe that he's 5,000% NPP. He's just upset about something, and when he gets upset, he gets upset. So that's what I can say about my own personal experience with Kennedy Ohene Agyapong. He's a reasonable man, he's a good man, and he's 5,000% NPP. He's more NPP than many NPP. Kennedy is proper, and the NPP is in his head, is everywhere. He's very, very NPP, and he loves to have fun. That I know you know already. You've seen his dancing in America and all of that. He used to have this party in America every Christmas. I don't know whether he still does it, but he'll carry people from Ghana, go to his house in America, go and shake it down, dance out, charge, jump, all that. He's a businessman, he loves fun, he's a good man, he's a reasonable man, he's NPP. So I wasn't surprised yesterday when this letter came from him, challenging some of the things that he's reported to have said. First about the NPP and about the campaign. I wasn't surprised. Let's have a look at the letter. It's on the touch screen. Let's have a look. Okay, so here is the letter. It's Kennedy Agyapong, MP Asin Central, and it's as follows. He says, my attention has been drawn to a video on social media which has since gone viral where I am heard saying that the MPP was looting the country as if there was no tomorrow. I wish to state that this is a complete and unfortunate misrepresentation of the actual content and focus of my message at that private event in Kumasi. It was a meeting with a small group of MPP communicators who had organized a small fundraising for me at the weekend. At the event, I lamented the fact that our communicators were letting the party down and that every government would have its fair share of corruption cases, especially in 8 years. But because of 1 or 2 bad cases, which the authorities were handling and in a transparent manner as it should be, we have sadly allowed the ruthless opposition propaganda machinery, the mass media, and the social media to create the deadly impression that MPP was looting as if there was no tomorrow, including allegations of stashing funds abroad. I wish to stress the point that the offending video was culled from a private meeting with some communicators in Kumasi, Ashanti region, over the weekend and edited to purposefully create a disaffection towards me, Kennedy Ohene Agyapong, and to bring the Akufo-Addo government into disrepute. Indeed, I told the gathering not to be fooled by the lies against our government and party. I also expressed my anger and unhappiness about the way we were allowing ourselves to be unfairly bashed in the media, especially social media, as if we were worse than NDC, which is certainly not the case. I am fully aware of the commitment shown by President Akufo-Addo in deeds and institutional reforms in combating the canker of corruption in Ghana and the challenges that entail. So, you see the language of Kennedy Agyapong. See how the language completely is different. He says that. Here he's talking about Akufo-Addo, isn't he? He says, I am fully aware of the commitment shown by President Akufo-Addo in deeds and institutional reforms in combating the canker of corruption in Ghana and the challenges that it entails. I remain a committed member of our great party and hope to lead us in our quest to break the 8, as together we face John Mahama and the NDC for the showdown on December 7th, 2024. showdown now has become part of the political palace. So you see what I was saying? What is in this letter, for me, represents everything I know about Kennedy. Party loyalist, reasonable man, good man. This letter reflects everything I know about Kennedy Agyapong. As far as I am concerned, I can't say I know him that well, but I know him sufficiently. And as far as I'm concerned, this letter reflects Kennedy Agyapong's spirit and attitude. He's a reasonable man, he's a good man, and he's an MPP man. That's what it reflects. So when I saw the letter, I wasn't surprised at all. When people were sending it to me, because I've told this story to a few people, when they were sending it to me and saying that this is your man is talking the thing you know about him. Oh, Kennedy has said something. So I don't have a vote on November 4th, but I don't know if I had a vote if I would give it to you. But I think that you're a reasonable man. I think that you're a good man, and I believe that you are MPP. I believe that all of these matters and quarrels and all of that will end. Yesterday, Chairman Wuntumi said something about Mesuali. You know, Wuntumi is my man. He just said it. Wuntumi just said it. Wuntumi and Kennedy are close. Did we not show you a video the other day where the two of them were talking about an ass in the studio? Where Wuntumi said, "Now only Kennedy Kasada." Kennedy said, "Now who's Kasimi?" And that they are very good friends. I don't know why this small matter can create that problem, but it can create it in a human situation. I was telling you, in the studio we fight. So when you have a political party of plenty people, there will be fights, especially if there's a contest. There will be fights. So it's 2 minutes to the top of that at 11 o'clock. Ibrahim Zebila, get your microphone and come and let's talk about sports. As I take the text messages from our people on what we've been doing, and as I lift this ball to show you that I'm better than Diego Maradona. Viewers who watched the 1990 World Cup, I don't know how old you were, but I was in Prosecco 1990 World Cup Otchere, and I was watching the World Cup opening game in my senior house master's house. A few of us, the boys from Engman House and Laboni House, watched that game in Mr. Ave's house, because by that time we are not vacated yet. You know, the first World Cup game is in June and we are writing exams, and we were in Form 4, I believe. We're not writing O-level, so we were still writing exams when Cameroon walked onto the field in the opening game against Diego Maradona in Argentina. A lot of us were Maradona fans, but we wanted the African challenge to show in the World Cup, and we were completely delighted that Cameroon won the game. But Diego Maradona put the ball on his shoulder at the beginning of the game, before the game started. And what we call totals, what we play with our leg, he was playing with his shoulder. So he hits the ball on his shoulder, it goes up, he hits it. We counted 19 that day. Diego Maradona, from our money and my generation, is the greatest footballer that's ever lived, that will ever live. Forget about Messi, it's Maradona. for my generation. For the people who are older than us, they say it's Pele. But for our generation, it's Maradona. For this generation, they say Maradona and Cristiano Ronaldo. My vote is for Cristiano Ronaldo any day. Messi is a great player, but my vote goes to Ronaldo on that one. So we'll be talking a bit of football later on. But let's get a text messages. And Fatih, do you speak Hausa?